Okay, what this is about is wood rifles, if you would, wood stock rifles, the old school type rifles, if you will, versus synthetic. And I've got two prime examples laying on the floor here. I'll get them up here in a minute. Now, what I've got right here, this is a 270 Winchester round. This is probably my absolute most favorite hunting round of all times, right here. This was commercialized by Winchester back in 1925. When I say commercialized, it came out of the wildcat stage is what they call it, okay? It's been around since 1925. This I consider the big sister of the 270. This is a 7mm Remington Magnum round. And Remington commercialized this, took it out of the wildcat stage, if you will, in 1964, okay? And like I say, it's .284 caliber, so I kind of consider this round the big sister to this 270. And the only reason why I stuck them bullets up there, the cartridges, so you'd know what I was talking about. Okay, let's set them two rounds aside for a second. Now, this rifle right here, ladies and gentlemen, I bought this, I can't quite remember. It's either a 1992 or 93 or whatever have you. It's a 270 Winchester, okay? Just got done showing you the rounds. And I can't even tell you, and I'm not sitting here bragging as a hunter, but I can't tell you how many big game. I can tell you I've gotten 3 elk with this rifle. But as far as mule deer bucks goes, because I don't hunt them does too much, I'm usually after them bucks. I couldn't tell you, I don't know. But this, the point being, is this is a Browning A-bolt, okay? That's what they call it. It's got a 60-degree lift on that bolt, if you can see that. This is a really old, it's not an old school action or nothing, it's more of a new school action, but believe you me, this rifle is well used. It really is. Let me let down the fire pin on this thing. Okay, but the point being is, take a look at this stock on here. This is a synthetic stock. I remember it was graphite nylon reinforced, if I remember right. Now, the point I want to get to on these type of stocks, on these type of rifles here, is they're generally lighter, they're more waterproof, you can maintain zero on the scope better, you know, because wood will swell, it's heavier, and whatnot like that. But there are some drawbacks to this synthetic stock business, and that's the fact that this stock, I know, because take a look right there. In order to take the kick out of this rifle, I put an aftermarket Packmeyer recoil pad on this thing, but this stock is actually hollow. It really is. This butt in here is hollow. And this rifle's real nice because it's light and everything like that, but the thing of it is, the thing I want to point out, I wish this rifle right off the get-go, right here, this Browning A-bolt 270 could tell stories, because it'd have a lot of stories to tell. But if I had an old school wood stock on this, I would have had to replace the stock. Because I remember one year I was dragging on a cow elk, and I was coming down a real, the cow elk was literally dragging me. We were coming down a real steep incline, or a hill, if you will, and this stock, if it would have been wood, it would have been just tore to pieces. I am not kidding you. I've still got a whole bunch of scars up at the forearm on this thing. You probably can't see them and whatnot have you. So what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, is that there's pros and cons to all this kind of stuff. Okay, all my rifles have names, by the way. Since this is my most favorite hunting rifle of all time, I call her Miss Sniper, because I've sniped a lot of big game animals with this 270. I really have. Another thing nice I like about this rifle here is the fact that it's got a detachable clip. And that's one thing I might want to point out. I'm not going to go all through this rifle. There's no point in it, but that clip, I can carry an extra clip on my side, which I have for years. Okay, highly recommended, but like I say, I'm just doing this video so you novice and beginning hunters can kind of make up your mind, because I know there's that question out there, oh God, should I get a synthetic stock rifle or a wood rifle? The only thing I can tell you is they both have their place. It's just that simple. This is that 7mm Remington Magnum, only this is an M77 Mark II. I had to make sure I looked down there to get that right. This is a Ruger M77 Mark II 7mm Remington Magnum. And this guy right here has got the old Mauser 98 action, and which has been around for a long, long time. And one not have it. I just got to put the scope cover on here, and I can see it's in the way of that doggone bolt. But anyway, the thing about this rifle I've noticed when I've been out in the field with it, it's heavier. It probably outweighs Miss Sniper by a pound and a half, and I really don't like that. But the deal is with this laminated wood, this is a solid stock, okay? That's the point of this whole video. Everything's pretty much more solid than it is on that synthetic. And the recoil has been reduced quite a bit some. This 270 that's at my feet right here, like I say, it used to have quite a kick to it until I put that aftermarket recoil pad on here, and I have one on here too, but it's, it's just one of them slip-on jobbers, nothing real fancy and like that. So it's kind of up to you, folks. This rifle here too does have a 24-inch barrel. That adds a little bit more weight. Miss Sniper down there, she's got a 22-inch barrel. And the name of this rifle, like I say, all my rifles have names, but this one here I call this rifle 7th Heaven, because this is a 500-yard rifle. No ifs, ands, or buts about this right here. The 7mm Magnum, it can really reach out there and touch something. So I don't know. That's the whole point to this. Is not really to show you my two favorite cartridges, a 270 or the 7mm Remington Magnum, and talk about these stocks, because like I say, there's pros and cons to the wood versus the synthetic, what I showed you on Miss Sniper there. So you just gotta kind of, look for a deal, but take that in consideration. The point to this whole video is, my suggestion is, let's put it to you this way. If you're gonna buy a real heavy caliber, say like a 300 Winchester Magnum or something like that with a synthetic stock on it, you better be expected to get your shoulder kicked off. That's what I'm talking about here. But say if you was to have a 243 or a 22 250 or something like that with a synthetic stock, or even this 270 mine, it's not too bad. The kick isn't too bad, because this wood right here helps absorb a recoil. But then they have a tendency to be a little bit heavier. So there you are. So this is what we got going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Synthetic, right here, a synthetic stock versus wood stock. And I really can't tell you. You have to weigh it out for yourself. What your hunting style, the type of country you're in, how hard you are on if you know that you're going to be really hard on a rifle, you know what I mean, or in a lot of real rough terrain and stuff like that, I'd probably go with synthetic over wood. But if you're in a situation where you're not going to be so hard on your rifle and you want a rifle that's a little easier on your shoulder as far as that recoil goes and everything, I'd probably go with the laminated wood like this here. So that's really all I've got to say.